Hey, beautiful spirits. Today we are talking about the dreaded why relationships fail. 5 insights into why that happens. I know that it sucks when you're going through something and you feel it. You feel it is failing. You feel it slipping away. And if you're all in and they're all out, it's an awful feeling. And sometimes you just don't know how to fix it. And you really wish you had a love potion you could give them or give yourself if you feel like you're the one getting distant, because maybe you've spent a lot of time with this person and it's like, why is it feeling distant now? So let's talk about some of these reasons. There are all kinds of reasons. And first I want to say, if you're in an abusive situation, be it verbally or definitely physically, the best thing for you to do is get your ducks in a row, get everything situated, and get out as soon as possible to safety and in the safest possible manner. That is the first thing. Your health, your safety, and that of your family, your children is most important. So we'll get that first. Other than that, any other reason, there's tons of them. I've got 5 here. The one that I think is really huge nowadays is social media. There is a plethora of naked people showing all their stuff. There's all these people messaging your partner. There's just all of this going on. There are vanishing messages now, Snapchat, whatever. And even if you have their password, they're gone, these messages. So, first of all, if you're in a relationship and you already feel like you have to be a detective, something is wrong. And is it worth saving really if this person is not trustworthy? But anyway, there's also, to me, if someone, even if they're not physically cheating or anything like that, even if it's just casual conversations, sometimes that could be they are giving their innermost thoughts to someone else rather than to you. And that makes the distance grow more. And that's really uncomfortable. So social media is really tough. And there's all this joke about people having couple accounts and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know. And then partners will go make fake accounts and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. So the best thing is to know your partner and have really good communication with them so it doesn't get that crazy, because let's face it, we're all inundated with that. People who are married, people who you don't even know. There's catfisher accounts. There's all this crazy stuff coming at everyone every day. So social media is good for some things and it's bad for some other things. I don't know if this kind of stuff went on in like my grandma's day when there was no social media, of course, and maybe it did, but I don't think it was to the extent as it is now, because now it's in the phone. It's all day, all the time. So that's a real downside to social media. So I really want to say, be smart and trust your intuition. And yeah, so we'll get to how to fix that in a minute. So routine is the second one I want to talk about. We've talked about that before, but we get into the routine. It's like, oh, whatever. And we're tired from the day. We're stressing out on stuff. And if we're stressing out on stuff, we're snipping at each other. So that can really contribute to a relationship failing. And it doesn't have to. So the third thing, which comes from routine, I think, is lack of effort. And if you get lazy and you stop being the person you were, you stop putting in the little bit extra for that person, giving the extra compassion, asking those questions just because their day-to-day is the same. They go to the same job. They see the same stuff, whatever. Even if, have some open communication without, you don't have to always say, how was your day? Because that's boring. You can be like, hey, what happened? Did you see anything cool on the freeway today? Did you see, what happened on your lunch break? Just come up with different questions other than how was your day? Because then it's like, hi, dear. Yes, dear. Oh, it was fine, dear. So you want to get creative and make it different. Do it kind of sparky. So that'll make it fun. The next thing is mind reading. once we're in relationships with people, we start to think they can read our minds, and we start to think that they should know certain things, or we think we know certain things about them and what they're thinking and what they're doing. And sometimes we're very wrong, or they're very wrong. So definitely making the mistake of mind reading, or thinking you can mind read or they can mind read, really will cause a relationship to fail. And also giving up. So this is what happens. All these things happen, and rather than trying to work on it, people will just give up for greener pastures. But here's the problem with greener pastures. You go to the next person and you have all that newness and that excitement and that, woohoo, this is awesome, we're dating, we're doing these things. Guess what? That will also turn to routine. That will also get to the point that you're at right now. Just about every relationship will do that, unless you put the effort in. And they do too. You know, it's 100%, 100%. It is not 50-50 what people think and say. It is 100% at 100%. Sometimes you may have to give 120% if they're having a hard time. Sometimes they have to give 120% if you're having a hard time. That is just how relationships are, and people forget that. So how do you avoid all of these things happening in your relationship? The first thing is, and it will solve a lot of those, communication. A lot of people are afraid of communication, or they think they're communicating, but they're really not. Maybe it's yelling. Maybe it's pointing fingers. That's not communicating. That's insulting and disrespectful. So communicating with your partner will eliminate a lot of this. If you show interest in your partner, genuine interest in their day, in their goings on, and if you do pay attention to their social media, if you feel comfortable with them, you know, if someone is trustworthy, they're going to leave their phone out in the open. No password, no block, or you're going to have their password. And if you feel you can trust them, you're never going to want to look at it. But if they're starting to hide it, especially if they used to have their phone open and now it's got a lock on it, now they go off into the bathroom with it, or you're over there and they're right here and they're texting and looking at you, if they're acting funny, then you know something's up. That's when you can talk about it. And don't be mean and accusing. They might be planning a surprise party for you. You don't know. So, you know, you can communicate. And you don't have to communicate right then, especially if they're watching something on TV that they want, or they're working on something. You can say, you know, do you mind if tomorrow, do you have some time if we can talk about something that I really need to share? And, you know, make an appointment, you know. So when you do that, you're respecting their time and you're respecting them. That is huge. Respect and communication go together. And then when you're talking about it, somebody else I follow says, you know, you act on these things with a feather, not with a hammer. So you just approach it softly, and you'll really see that you can get further that way. You'll know by how they act if you have something to worry about or not. And sometimes people are just wanting attention, and maybe because of the routine, you haven't been giving them the attention they want, or they haven't been giving you that. So when there's communication, it's like, oh, I thought you didn't want that, or something. You can really uncover a lot if you nip things in the bud right away. So what else? So giving up, like I said, you know, if you get to this point, relationships are an ebb and flow, and years will go by with no issue, and then there might be a problem. So I know some friends of mine years ago, they told me they would pass each other in the hallway, pissed off at each other, they'd flip each other off, and that's all they would do. That's the only contact they would have with each other for a long time. But they stuck it out with each other. They worked through it, and after they worked through that time and they communicated, then they figured out what each other needed, because it was years into the relationship. They had evolved. They each had different needs now. So they fulfilled those needs for each other and were able to move forward. And I'm happy to say they are, like, I think they said 35 years married now, and they are completely blissfully happy, comfortable. Everything is wonderful. And that's how you move through and make a relationship last. You evolve with it, and you stay open and respectful and kind and compassionate and communicate. That's how you do it. So anyways, I hope this video has been helpful. I sure love talking to you. I appreciate all of you who have subscribed. And if you haven't, please do so now. Hit like and comment. I really appreciate you. And I will see you on Monday for another video. Oh, and if you celebrate, it's Christmas Eve today. So Merry Christmas Eve. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day and evening with your family. Bye. Oh, wait, I'm recording this on Christmas. This is playing tomorrow on Christmas Day. I'm blonde under the hair dye, y'all. Okay, have a good Christmas if you celebrate, and I'll see you later. Bye.